Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, and like I said, we have a rocket in orbit. Look, it's the same one we launched last time, except I didn't detach all of the fuel from it. I'm gonna keep my finger far away from the space bar, thank you very much. Okay, so we are currently in a parking orbit, as you can see, about 150,000 meters away from Kerbal. How absolutely brilliant. We have all 4 of these fuel tanks, although there's pretty much nothing left in really any of them. It's gonna burn, I think, for just a fraction of a second, and then we're going to have to release it and send it back to Kerbal like the disgusting fuel tanks they are. Good lord. Anyway, our current goal is to get to Eve, as has been said before. So, Eve happens to be right here. Set as target. Hello, Eve. Hello. Okay, we need to build ourselves an orbit to get to Eve. So, most likely, the logical position would be to launch it from right here. And just launch it out. Bada boom, like that. Look at that, that's brilliant. What kind of an orbit are we looking at there? Very nice. And I think that will be our first move, to get into a sun orbital position. That should be fine. And then we'll be able to get to Eve fairly easily, I say. I'm just making it up. Completely making up the whole we're easily going to get to Eve thing. But I can assure you we're going to get to Eve regardless. Actually, I can't assure you that. I can't actually assure anything. We may or may not make it there. We could just die in the process. For all we know, our probe is fundamentally flawed. Its programming is actually set to kill all humanity, and it's just going to turn itself around, crash into Kerbal. Everyone's going to be screaming. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be quite unfortunate. But we did this to ourselves, people. It's just the case. We do need to extend at least one of these solar panels. I'm just going to extend both. Just in case we get into a position where the sun is behind us, that is the only position where we will run out of power. Or admittedly, if we're behind Kerbal, that one as well. Good lord, didn't think about that one. I'm pretty sure this orbital position brings us around back of Kerbal. Oh, good lord. Maybe we'll run out of power. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, that would be so nice. By that would be so nice, I mean, I hate that so much. It's the worst. Okay. We are 8 minutes from our firing. Looks like we're going to have enough power, probably? Maybe? I don't know. We've got 6.4 and dropping steadily. Maybe we should really put some batteries on these probes. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy! Why put batteries on a probe? That's ridiculous. Come on. People, it's not ridiculous. It actually makes a ton of sense. Fire the engines! Release! Yeah, I told you. Fraction of a second. Now they're gone. Goodbye! They're just gonna float around Kerbal forever. Because they're disgusting. Apparently we've got electrical charge back. Somehow one of our panels is in the light of Kerbal. Not sure how that works. It doesn't look like we could possibly be within the light of Kerbal. But I'm going to trust our solar panels in saying that we now have 2.24 power, which is quite nice. Okay. We are very quickly coming to the end of our burn, which is nice. Hasn't used much fuel. It's always good when they don't use much fuel. If we do use a lot of fuel, it's generally a bad thing. Okay, there we go. We should be in orbit around the sun! Woo! Time to crash into the sun. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. I swear I'm not gonna do it. I've never actually done it before, so I don't know what it's like, but I imagine it's not a good thing. I mean, just thinking about the whole, you know, it's crashing into the sun and all that. Whoa! Mate, that is a darn close approach. Let's see if we can refine it. Is that getting farther away? That's getting farther away. Let's move it like this. Bro! Bro, master of the orbits right there. That was Oh my lord, I can't even begin to describe how beautiful that was. The last orbit took forever to find. This one was perfectly fine. Shut up, electrical charge, you're fine. You're not gonna die today. Tomorrow, I can't promise anything, but today you're not going to die, that's for sure. Okay, we're gonna keep ourselves on that maneuver track, and we've got 297 days to sit and wait. In reality, people, that will probably allow you to have many holidays in the meantime, so we're just gonna sit here and let you have all of your holidays. Just go ahead. Go have holidays with your family. Have fun. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to stay here. It's perfectly fine. Just go. No, we're gonna speed it up a lot. We are now 100 times speed. Goodbye, Kerbin. You were good to us in your time, but now you disappear. Disappear far, far away. Even at whatever time interval that was, it's gonna take forever for us to get there. Oh my goodness, we're so small in the grand scheme of things. Such a tiny little rocket. We're speeding it up to the max speed. The days are flying by. Maybe the poor Eve probe we sent to begin with has crashed into Eve. But once again, I'm pretty sure its orbit is not going to allow for that. I accidentally clicked the slowest time. It's so bad. Okay. We have to watch that time like a hawk. Days are passing by in seconds. Our lives are dwindling before us. The people on Kerbin at this point have pretty much created artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence has risen up against them. And of course, the Kerbins very quickly defeated them because they're so stupid that even their artificial intelligence is ridiculously dumb. So there was a robot uprising. The robot uprising is now over. It was terrible. So many people died. And a couple people, you know, tripped and fell. But that's kind of par for the course with Kerbin at this point. It's pretty bad. They're terrible. They don't know how to walk, people. It's so bad. Okay, we're going to need to slow down time at this point. We are 6 days from our fire position. We're going to need to speed up time again. Just needed to slow down time so we could speed it up to the proper amount. I know you're not time travelers, so you don't understand this stuff. That's still not enough. I'm going to have to speed it up to there. That's good. Look at that. Okay. 2 days. 1 day. 5 hours, people. 5 hours. Okay, we are getting very close to our burn position. At that point, we will burn everything. We will burn Kerbin. We will burn Eve. We're pretty much going to send a firestorm throughout the entire solar system. Unfortunately, any sentient life in the solar system is going to face the fact that it is now dead. But on the upside, we're going to have an orbit around Eve. And our probe isn't alive, so the probe's going to be perfectly fine. Believe me. The probe don't care, mate. Probe don't care at all. Probe will just be sitting there like, Kerbin? Kerbin? I'm trying to communicate with you, Kerbin. Please. And the moon probe will be like, mate, everyone's dead on Kerbin. The Eve probe will be like, no! But it'll get over it pretty quickly because it's a probe. Doesn't really care. It's like, oh, that's quite unfortunate. But I'm still going to fly over Eve for pretty much the rest of eternity, so there you go. I'm pretty sure the sun's going to supernova before I fall out of orbit. Oh, it's going to be sitting forever. It's probably going to die before then. Poor probe. Dying far from its homeland. Many millions of meters from its homeland, actually. Quite a few million meters from its homeland. We are very close to our burn, so we can stop rambling on about random things and get back to work. We have 4 minutes before the burn. Oh lord, that's way too quick. Okay, we are at 10 times. Sit down, people. Sit down, don't stand up. If you stand up, you could break the equilibrium. Okay, we are almost there. 21 seconds. Okay. Probe, I hope you're ready for this. This is the most important moment of your life. I'm just going to roll you just a little bit so you're facing the sun more. There you go. Isn't that nice? It's so nice. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire, 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 fire! Get into orbit around Eve, you disgusting creature. Do it! Okay. Looks like we should get into this orbit with a ton of fuel to spare. We are slowing down, which I think should help with the whole getting into orbit around Eve thing. Probably gonna help with that. I hope it's gonna help with that. I hope we do actually get into orbit around Eve. That'd be nice. I wonder what sort of orbit we'll have. It's probably going to be terribly lopsided and disgusting and make you want to die. But that's not necessary. Nobody needs to die here today. Looks like we got ourselves an approach path with Eve. Yep, definitely got ourselves an approach path. Okay, now we need to focus our view on Eve. You can see this right here. So we're going to enter here. And we're going to end over here at the Eve escape. So we want to try, probably over here, to add a maneuver and slow ourselves down to the point of creating an orbit. That is a nice orbit. Look at that. That is the very basic... That is the very least we need in order to get into orbit around Eve. And to say we did something of some value. Wouldn't that be brilliant? Little probe, you want to do something of some value, don't you? Don't you, little probe! Don't say you don't want to do it. Good lord. The probe is so terrible. It doesn't want to do anything, does it? Literally all the probe wants to do is just sit in an orbit. It's like, this is way too much effort for me, sir. Sir, I really don't want to have to do this. I mean, it's quite a bit of disgusting effort to have to try to orbit planets with rockets and all that. Can you just leave me be and, you know, just let me orbit around something? I'd be perfectly fine with that. It's kind of what I'm built to do. I'm just like, would you shut up, probe? Shut up, probe. You're not supposed to be talking. How are you even speaking, probe? You don't have a mouth? Good God. It's ridiculous. These probes, mate. So apparently we have another 148 days to sit and wait, so let's go for it. Okay, music's over. No music. Hate music. Bad music, even worse. What I just did, can't even express how terrible that was. Oh, makes me want to die inside. Makes me want to die inside. Probably should die inside too. It's probably for the best. If I die inside, there's no chance of that music ever coming back. That would be great. That'd be brilliant. It'd probably be a service to humanity at this point. Good lord. Okay. We are 1 day away from our burn. The probe is just freaking out about the fact that it's just like, oh my lord, I'm going to be orbiting around Eve soon enough. What if Eve doesn't like me? What if I get to Eve and it doesn't want me? Oh god! And the probe's just freaking out, and of course the rocket's like, dude, your life is fine. I'm gonna be ejected and then forgotten about for the rest of eternity until some alien race finds me as like an archaeological dig thing. Dude, you're perfectly fine. Just shut up. And of course, since the rocket can't talk or communicate in any way, I mean, the probe can at least type out what it wants to say, and by type, I mean just like, you know, transmit back to them. But the rocket literally can't say anything because it's a rocket. It doesn't even have programming or jazz. So it really can't say anything. So it's just like seething to itself. And the probe's still like freaking out over there. The rocket, of course, hates the fact that it's attached to the probe because that's ridiculous. I mean, why would such a sophisticated rocket be attached to such a ridiculous probe? It's crazy. Trying to find Eve in and amongst all of these stars. It's very hard. I know Eve is out there somewhere. I know you're out there, Eve. Oh, there it is. Nice. There's Eve, right out there. Little purple ball. It's really hard to find little purple balls amongst hundreds of other purple balls. But I found it. It happens to be slightly larger than the other purple balls. How nice. Okay, we are almost to the fire position. We are now 1 minute and 30 seconds away. And once we get there, we'll fire and we'll be in orbit around Eve and everyone will be happy. The amount of rocket fuel we wasted on this will be slightly justified. Yes. I love it when that happens. Okay, here we go. You only need to fire with a velocity of 1,900.9 meters per second. It's actually quite a bit. That's a ton, actually. That's a lot. That's like the amount it took for us to get into orbit around Kerbal to begin with. So, yeah. Let's see how that goes for us. We do still have the entirety of this other fuel tank, which is probably about as effective as this one. You'd say this one obviously moves it faster because it's such a larger engine, but it also has to move all of this extra weight up here, so I don't know which one's more effective, but one of them is definitely more effective. Pretty sure we can agree on that. Oh lord, we are getting close. Is it going to run out beforehand? Or are we going to get to use it to refine the orbit just a little bit? It's getting close. Oh, we're running out of fuel. Oh, yeah, we're out of fuel. But we are in orbit around Eve. Victory, people! Victory! Get out of my face, rocket! You don't mean nothing to me. Okay, let's just fire this real quick. Turn it down. Now we're in pretty much the orbit we expected to begin with. Okay. Now, my friends, it is time to refine the orbit. We want to bring ourselves much closer. We are currently 33 million meters from... Oh, shut up. Shut up, maneuver! 33 million meters from Eve. That is unacceptable. We're going to slow down to there. What's that? 12 million meters. 12 million meters is a ridiculously large quantity. Okay, there we go. What's that? 3 million meters? Seriously? Seriously, mate? Let's see. Massive Fireball of Fate is currently 300,000 meters from Kerbal. This thing is currently 3 million meters from Eve. I don't know. Is that an accurate number? It has to be an accurate number, right? Of course. Just gonna go with that being an accurate number. Okay, well, we're gonna create an orbit more like this. I don't know what the stable orbit is around Eve, but I'm pretty sure it's well within the whole 3 million meters thing. I mean, how far is the Mun from Kerbal? Let's go see. Woo, we're at Kerbal. Okay, stable orbits are around 250,000 meters for Kerbal. The Mun is like 11 million meters from Kerbal. Good lord. No, we can get a lot closer to Eve. That is for sure. We can get so much closer. Where is Eve right now? Eve! Come to me. What I'm doing, by the way, is just toggling through all of the different potential things that I could focus on. Literally every planetoid in the solar system. Okay, there we go. So we're going to start with this maneuver. It'll take 11 days to get to the maneuver position. Get ye to the maneuver position, fool! Now you just have to wait. Wait quite a long time. 11 days to be precise. Who wants to wait 11 days? Nobody wants to wait 11 days. I mean, if I ever had to wait 11 days, my goodness. I mean, imagine being the actual technician back on Kerbal who's running this flight. He's had to wait, like, almost a year and a half at this point. He's now very happy because, of course, that year and a half was spent well as opposed to the other technician who is now dead. He's been executed because he failed to orbit Eve. He didn't have any satisfaction from the ridiculous amount of time he spent trying to get a probe over to Eve. No satisfaction at all, because, you know, it's just sitting around Kerbal because he's a fool and he's dead now. We chopped off his hands to start with because, of course, his hands were the ones that caused the problems. It's not my hands, I swear to goodness. My hands were not the problem, although they were totally the problem, definitely the problem. I totally blamed it on that poor engineer who now has no hands and is also dead. And the whole being dead part is probably a lot worse than the whole having no hands thing, but, it's still pretty bad to have no hands. I mean, when someone digs you up later and is like, what in the heck happened to this guy? They look at your wrists and it's just like, oh, nope, he has no hands. Nope, 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 nope. And they run for their lives. Oh my lord, look, we're slowing down. Slowing down significantly. Refining our orbit down to a very, very nice orbit. Hopefully within like 7 meters of Eve. That would be an amazing orbit. An orbit 7 meters above the surface of Eve. Eve literally has no gravitational pull at all. Okay, look at that. That's nice. Gonna go up here. Add a maneuver and reduce this. Boom. That's going to be a 2 millimeter. Let's close it even farther. 900,000 meter. I don't know any information about this thing. Eve, radius 700 kilometers. ASL gravity. I suppose that's something that we need to pay attention to, is 1.7 Gs, meaning that the gravity is slightly larger than that on Kerbal. Oh, no, that's what I want. Okay, atmospheric height. So, once we get to that particular height of 90,000 meters, that should begin to form atmospheric drag, which will pull us out of orbit. So we can actually get quite close to this. It'll be fine. Let's get like a 500,000 meter position right now. Yeah, that'll do. Nope. Like. Brilliant. We can get a 500,000 meter position. Then we're just going to refine it down to the point where we run out of fuel, and then it'll be nice. Probably, maybe going to skip a lot of this. I think you get the idea, people. If you don't get the idea, then, it's quite unfortunate, isn't it? You should probably get out! No, you don't have to get out. It's fine. Well, pretty much what we're going to do is go around and burn at retrograde. Retrograde is, of course, the direction that we are not moving at. So there's prograde and there's retrograde. Prograde is the direction that our velocity is pointing towards. Velocity, of course, being a vector. So any direction, the direction that we are actually moving is prograde. Whereas retrograde is the direction we're not moving. If you fire retrograde, you slow down. If you fire prograde, you speed up. Simple. So we're just going to fire at retrograde at the apoapsis and periapsis until we get to a nice orbit. That'll keep it a nice and round orbit the entire time. There we go. I just explained to you what we're doing. Now, get out. No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, we are very close to our fire time. Oh, no, we're a minute off! We're a solid minute off of our burn. It's fine. It won't have a huge effect on the burn overall. We just need to make sure that it, gets to the right position. And that we do not suffer from the terrible atmospheric drag. I hate atmospheric drag. Atmospheric drag is the worst. It causes so many problems. The amount of times I've lost rockets to atmospheric drag is like 7. Just like 7. Not actually all that much. I know about atmospheric drag. I knew about it. Not very many rockets were lost. But I'm sure we're going to lose some rocket at some point to atmospheric drag around some planetoid. That would be quite unfortunate. Woo! Okay, there we go. Nice. That's like spot on right there. Oh, good God. It's beautiful. Okay. Let's look at how much fuel we have left. That pretty much took up half of our fuel, which is unfortunate. So we're going to slow ourselves down here, down to like a 500,000 meter thing, until our apoapsis becomes our periapsis, which is kind of what we're doing the entire time. Slow it down. What are we looking at here? 300,000 meters. 250,000 meters. I accept that. Thank you very much. We're going to have to get to that position, which will be in 1 hour. Look at how close it is. The planetoid of Eve is so darn close. It's ridiculous. Makes me want to just puke all over everything. Because of course Eve is quite vomit-inducing. It's pretty much completely created out of just, I don't know, Play-Doh? I guess Play-Doh isn't particularly vomit-inducing, although I haven't eaten a large quantity of Play-Doh, so I wouldn't be particularly certain. Pretty sure Play-Doh is slightly vomit-inducing, more due to the fact that, you know, you're eating Play-Doh, and that's just like, why are you eating Play-Doh? First off, where did you get Plato from? He was a Greek philosopher. Where did you find his body? And why, when you found his body, did you decide it was a good idea to eat him? That's not a good idea! Good God! Why would you do that? That's so bad. I don't even know. Okay, what are we at? 2 minutes and 11 seconds. 2 minutes and 11 seconds? Nobody got time for that. 10 times, mate. Okay, we're gonna get down to our typical, like, 20-second, probably. Round about there. And we're gonna want to watch this orbit, because we really don't want it to go too small, or else our probe will explode. It'll be dragged down by atmospheric forces and destroyed in the name of science. Poor probe. Probe did not deserve to be destroyed in the name of science. Ooh, the atmospheric pressure on Eve is 5 atmospheres. Did you know that? I didn't know that until now. That is 5 times the pressure of Earth at sea level. Yeah, you learn something new every day, don't you? It's brilliant. Okay, we are definitely running out of fuel. I've expected this. I've been prepared for this. We knew this day would come. Ooh, we still have some fuel, mate. Oh. Oh, I love this orbit right now. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, we are at a 250,000 meter periapsis around Eve. We have next to no fuel left, but we're going to use the remainder of it to try to refine the orbit even a bit more. Down to about 250 meters on both sides. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. We have an 18-minute orbit around Eve at this point. That's crazy. Does NASA even have an 18-minute orbit around Eve? I bet you don't, NASA! Eat it, NASA! Get out of here! What do you mean you're working with actual real-life limitations? Shut up, NASA. Jeez, NASA is such a bunch of whiners. Come on now. We're gonna be fine. Okay. We're almost in position. I'm sensing no particular atmospheric drag as of yet, which is always nice. Now, I'm pretty sure NASA would do a much better job of this. Hence, you know, they're kind of like paid to make sure that their rockets don't explode, because their rockets actually cost real world money. Crazy, I know. Actually spending money to launch rockets into space is actually not crazy. It's quite cool. I'm all about launching rockets into space. We are out of fuel, people. Completely out of fuel. Okay, let's delete our maneuver. Go into here, staging. Relinquish yourself, rocket! Pew! Not you. I want this. Come on. Communicatortron. Extend the communicatortron. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Goodbye, rocket. Nobody cares about you. Nice, people. We've done it. We've done it. We can probably turn off the RCS. We don't actually have any RCS at all. Okay. Where do we want to point? Oh my lord, this is not easy at all to control. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Kerbal is actually out there somewhere. I don't know where. We're gonna point this away from Eve. There we go. That's nice. It's gonna run out of juice in a second, but it'll be fine. Once it gets back around Eve, it'll be perfectly brilliant. Okay, let's look at this orbit. We have an orbit with an apoapsis of 244,000 meters and a periapsis of 218,000 meters around the celestial body otherwise known as Eve. Look at it, it's brilliant, I love it. Oh, let's get into the light. Come on, probe. Into the light you go. There we go, look at that. Look at the probe, it's so tiny and next to worthless. Goodbye, debris, goodbye. Yeah, that debris is gonna be sitting there forever. Well, people, we did it. We've sent a probe to Eve. How brilliant. Despite the fact that, you know, I did the whole, wrecking everything sort of thing. Where I kind of, I don't know, how would you call it? Crashed the vessel into... No, I didn't crash the vessel into anything, I'm sorry. Ejected the fuel from the vessel. Yeah, that was a small thing. But regardless of that, we still made it out here. We have a new rocket, we sent it out. It's brilliant. Nice, people, we've achieved something. Thumbs up. Give yourself a thumbs up. Pat yourself on the back. Now go sit in a corner and, I don't know, just like contemplate life or something. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we will launch yet more rockets, potentially another probe out to another planetoid. Perhaps we shall send it to Duna. Duna. The one that everyone really cares about. It's Mars, in case you didn't know. Duna is the Kerbal equivalent of Mars. But until then, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.